Welcome to the Clean Comedy Podcast, featuring JamesDCreviston and LukeLacoy. Yeah, we're about to get clean up in here, so clean your mouth out with a bar of soap and get ready for the Clean Comedy Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's James and this is the Clean Comedy Podcast. Today I'm here with my co-host, Mr. LukeLacoy.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I was telling Luke about this drink, Liquid Death. It sounds crazy, but it's actually Austrian Alp bottled water. So it's delicious. It looks like an energy drink or even a beer because of the top. And everyone's like, "What are you drinking?" Like I was drinking it, and I swear somebody like looked at me today, like, "What are you doing?" And but I love it. So hopefully I'm gonna get a sponsorship for them because they rock. They're the best water. But speaking of awesome things in our life, we have an amazing guest today. They reach out to us from the Palm Springs International Comedy Festival. So they do film, they do stand-up, they do a bunch of other stuff. We're going to talk to our guest today about it so he can kind of give us a heads up. And he's the director. His name's Mr. Paul Cruz. He's the director of this. He loves comedy, and he's going to talk to us all about it and see how you guys can get involved. And Luke and I are super excited because I only know a little bit. I've heard good things. So Paul's going to be here with us. Please welcome Mr. Paul Cruz.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. This is awesome. We've heard so many good things about the Palm Springs International Comedy Festival.
Nice.
Tell us about it though, for people who don't know.
Well, we're kind of a little bit of a different comedy festival in that we don't just do stand-up stuff. You know, we have stand-ups and stuff like that. So we do all that, but we also have a film division which showcases feature film comedies, short film comedies, web series that are comedy, TV pilots that are comedies if people are trying to sell those or get exposure for those. We also have student projects, student shorts, student features. We have, comedy documentaries. We have some great documentaries this year with like Judd Apatow in them and like a lot of really interesting. Sarah Silverman's in it, in one of them. We have a lot of stuff. So we don't just have the stand-up, but we have like the film portion of it. But we also have a yearly red carpet dinner awards gala honoring some of the best people in the business for their work, either prior to, for like paving the way, or whatever they accomplished in the last year and a half. So we have the stand-up stuff, the film stuff, and then the gala, but we also do Q&A panels, and I mean, it's a lot.
And when is the Palm Springs International Comedy Festival?
This year, it got pushed back twice because of the pandemic, and we were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? You know, so we thought about canceling it, but we didn't want to let the fans down, and we didn't want to let the people who participated down, so we decided to figure out how to do it virtually. So it's gonna be virtual, live streaming on our website, which is psicf.org, which is the acronym for Palm Springs International Comedy Festival. So that's psicf.org, and it'll be streaming all on there. You'll go there and you can watch the Q&A panels with all the celebrity and industry people. You can watch all the film streaming there at your leisure. You can watch all the stand-up shows. And then we also have a bunch of, instead of big headliners this year, we're having like some really cool theme shows with a lot of well-known comics in them from TV and film, and big comedy club performers and people who've had their own comedy specials on Showtime and HBO and stuff like that. So we've got a lot to offer, and you can check it all out on the website.
And when does that start? Sorry.
So it starts October 11th and it goes through the 18th. So it's for a whole week.
Awesome.
And the schedule will be up later tonight. And so people can go to the website and check it out, and then we'll be adding to that schedule as we move along and start confirming more and more and more industry people and celebrity people and events and stuff like that. But we have a lot.
That's awesome. And how did you get started in this? Did you start this, or who started this festival and stuff?
I started the festival. I've always loved comedy. I feel like comedy's kind of saved my life in a lot of ways. Like, it's really helped me through really difficult times in my life. I've always used comedy as a way to try to make myself feel better when bad things were going on or when bad things were happening to me. So I would make a joke out of it, and just make light of the situation and use comedy as a way to do that, and it would make me feel better. So I've always gravitated towards comedy, even though I've done a lot of serious stuff. And I was coming off the end of producing this very, very serious film called Archaeology of a Woman that I produced with Sally Kirkland, who's an Oscar nominee and Golden Globe winner. And it was getting a lot of Oscar buzz, and it was really serious. And I was like, I just need to do something to kind of switch the mode on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And change the mood. And I had some time, so I said, I've been wanting to do this comedy festival for quite a long time. And I go back from my house in LA to Palm Springs all the time. So I thought, why isn't there a comedy festival here? And why isn't anybody doing one? Like, there's so many film festivals here. There's a lot. I don't know if people are aware, but there is a lot of film festivals here.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many. There's the animation, the Native American, the LGBTQ, the Out One, the Palm Springs Film Festival. You know, there's a documentary film festival. There's like all these film festivals, but no comedy festival. And I was like, hey, you know, what's going on? So I had this idea for quite a few years, actually, and I wanted to finally, you know, make it happen. So in that time after I finished producing that movie, I decided to focus on this. And I got some friends together who I know in the business, like the Stanley Kramer family, Karen Sharp Kramer, who was Stanley Kramer's wife. Not sure if you're familiar with Stanley, but and his daughter. And the PGA gives out the Stanley Kramer Award every year to a bunch of A-listers. It's a very prestigious award. And, you know, Stanley only directed one comedy in his entire career. He's the most decorated nominated director and producer in the Academy history. So we decided to honor him with this Mad World Comedy Award because he directed It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Yep. So we have that.
Fantastic film.
And this year, it's going to go to De Niro's film, The Comeback Trail, which is a comedy directed by George Gallo, and starring Robert De Niro and Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones and Emil Hirsch and Zach Braff. So it's going to be a star-studded comedy, and they're going to receive the Stanley Kramer Mad World Comedy Award.
Do they know that already, or are you breaking the news right here?
I'm breaking the news right here.
Oh, yes.
But they are aware of it, yes.
De Niro, I hope you're listening.
I mean, I wouldn't be talking about it if they weren't.
No, okay, it's all good.
Hey, by the way, you're coming on board. You're going to accept this award. Surprise!
That would be awesome. It's like, this is breaking news. So
yeah, it is actually breaking news because I've never talked about it. I mean, I've been doing all these interviews, but I haven't really said anything about it yet.
Well, thank you for sharing with us. That's awesome. We feel super special. So, what have you thought about adding like a comedy podcast or some kind of like meetup thing like that in the future? Not obviously not this year, but like something like that. Like there seems to be a lot of comedy podcasts, but there's either you're like the Joe Rogans and stuff, and you're really big, or you're like us, where 5,000, 6,000 downloads a month, but not 1 million downloads and stuff like that.
No, I haven't. We just started a talk show just because last year. So the first year I tried to do the festival, again, a lot of bad things happened. Like the hotel, which is a really well-known hotel. I won't say their name, but they're a huge hotel chain, and there's a lot of rock and roll people associated with this hotel. Gotcha. And I won't say the name, but that ought to tell you. They pulled out of Palm Springs, and I found out about it on my phone. And so I was like, wait, I have a contract with these people. And so I needed to scramble to find a place for this, for this event. And I wasn't sure if this was going to happen. So I talked to the mayor of Palm Springs, and which was Mayor Moon at the time. And he suggested, all these other venues. And then somebody else came in, and we decided to go ahead with the festival, but we had to push it back from September to November. And then in that time of making it, my dad passed away. And then my grandmother passed away, and it was just like this horrible time. And I'm like trying to get all this stuff together. So we had a YouTube channel, but we didn't have a lot of content on there because of all these horrible things that were happening to me at the time. So this year we decided to do like a talk show, a Zoom talk show, because we didn't, we were like, oh, let's have some of the people associated with the festival. But I would love to have a podcast involved. I actually would love to just involve as many people and things as possible, because I feel like comedy is so diverse from that's why we include the films. We include, streaming stuff. We have a streaming award. We include obviously the stand-ups. I would like to try to include as many mediums as possible, just to offer so much, because comedy is more than just stand-up. It's what you guys do. You know what I mean? It's everything. So yeah, you want to get involved.
We love to. Now, are you thinking about adding sketch and improv maybe next year? Because those are really undervalued
Yeah.
in the comedy world. A lot of people don't give them a lot of love. And man, some of the funniest people I've ever seen are improv and sketch people. Like,
yeah, we have sketch people. So last year in our film festival, people provided sketch, and we included their sketch material in our film festival.
awesome.
And this year it's the same. So we also include sketch material in this film festival as well. And we did improv as well the first year, but we can't, it's hard to do it live.
Yeah, of course.
So this year we don't have that going on, but when we resume live in person, we plan to bring all that back. So yeah, we're trying to do, all of it. I mean, anything you could possibly think of, we're doing it. And we just have a lot of variety of shows too. Like, we're trying to be all inclusive with our festival. So we have a lot of stuff, like a lot of different themed shows this year that are just kind of a lot to offer for everybody. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I'm so glad that somebody is doing something like this, because you're right. You don't get a lot of that. There will be like comedy festivals that are just for like stand up or whatever, or there'll be like film comedy festivals, but there's never like everything that's kind of inclusive. I know the Burbank Comedy Festival does some similar things, but not a lot.
Mhm.
So, and Palm Springs, no offense, if I had to choose between going to Burbank for a festival or going to Palm Springs for a festival, I'm going to go to Palm Springs. Palm Springs is awesome. And that's where all the old school, like, actors and directors and everybody used to hang out back in the day anyway. So it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah. So since the 20s, silent film stars have been coming here to make this like their little getaway. And so we've had a slew of celebrities from the 20s silent film era till today. I mean, from the great silent film actors of the past to the Kardashians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to go there. But I mean, Goldie Hawn has a house on here, and Kurt, and like Leonardo DiCaprio and Barbra Streisand, and I mean, there's so many celebrities that have houses here, and you see celebrities walking around from time to time too. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, Lucille Ball was the mayor of at one point out here, and I mean, Sonny Bono. I mean, it's like being in Hollywood, but cleaner.
Hey, thanks for letting me interrupt the Clean Comedy Podcast with a shout out from one of our sponsors. This week's episode is sponsored by DirectTowing.app. DirectTowing.app is a platform for tow truck companies and customers to connect. Customers can use the app to find tow truck services in the area, request a pickup, examine a detailed quote, and even pay directly through the app. In less than 2 minutes, you can request assistance, get assigned to the nearest tow truck driver, get picked up, get service, and pay. No big deal. So don't get stuck with an expensive membership or without auto assistance. Download DirectTowing.app today from the Apple App Store or Google Play. Now back to the show. Yeah. Well, there used to be a rule that actors had to be available. Like, you had to be able to get back to LA in a certain amount of time.
2
and
hours,
at first,
yeah.
And a lot of comedians or a lot of like actor stuff would go to Vegas, but once that rule was instituted, they couldn't go as far. So like Palm Springs became like a mini Vegas type scene and stuff. And if you go out there, you could see that kind of retro, like Vegas vibe to it, and I love it. Actually, one of my favorite steakhouses is out there. So that's
Which one?
Man, it's on the main strip there. No, it's on the main strip out there. I'd have to ask my wife, but every time we go out there, we go to the same like steakhouse. It's amazing.
Is it LG's?
I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there's one in downtown on the strip called LG's.
Yeah, that's the one.
But I go to Mastro's in on El Paseo in Palm Desert, which is like the Rodeo Drive of the desert. It has like Tiffany and Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all that. And Mastro's, of course, is a famous chain. But I also like the steakhouse in Agua Caliente. They make the best martinis, and they're amazing. But yeah, you know your history, like that 2 hour rule or whatever it was. Like that's very historical information.
Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd like that. Luke, did you have a question? You're about to ask a question. I stepped on you.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, so you've been doing this for a few years. What have been like some of your favorite memories from the festival?
Oh my God. So here's some crazy stuff. So this is our second year, but it's 3 years later because of a variety of dramatic things. The first year, like I told you, the major hotel pulled out and we had to scramble and push our dates back. The second year which was this year, we had to deal with like, how are we going to do this during the pandemic? And we had to push it back. So it's actually only been the second year, but we started off with a huge bang. I mean, I think a lot of people were like, whoa, like we started huge. Like I did an interview the other day and they were like, oh, did you start off like in like little, you know, bars and clubs and stuff doing, and then like it got bigger? And I'm like, no, you know, we started off with a huge gala that honored Kathy Griffin as Comedian of the Year, and Paramount's book club with Jane Fonda, directed by Bill Holderman. That was a big comedy hit of the year. And Ileana Douglas, we honored her for her Pioneer and Comedy Award for her trailblazing comedy web series, Easy to Assemble, which was star-studded with Keanu Reeves and Eddie Begley Jr. and all these people. And so, so I guess some of the craziest memories is like we received a lot of like crazy flack for honoring Kathy Griffin. So that was crazy because we have picketers outside.
Oh wow!
But she was awesome. She came in and she did like 30 to 45-minute set at her acceptance speech. So that was pretty amazing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we just had a lot of press, and it started off with a huge bang, and we had a 3-day festival that was huge with films streaming all day, 10 hours a day in one area, and like comics in another area, performing all day in a marathon stand-up competition, you know, with the winner receiving $1,000 in his own TV special, which is coming out later this year. And this guy's amazing. He's going to be a big star. But yeah, we started off with the bang. So I guess my greatest memories are just that, the drama surrounding Kathy Griffin, which I thought had passed. And that's not really why we were honoring her, was for her political things. It was just more about, you know, all the stuff that she's been through and still maintained her career. And I thought it was like, wow, you know, anybody who could survive this has got to get some kind of glory, whether you like her or not, you know.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is there's not a lot of like top level female comedians, unfortunately. They like kind of get like, once they're, it's not like we don't have a Phyllis Diller anymore. We don't have a Joan Rivers anymore. We don't have that. So the fact that you're honoring that is great, that we have, because we need more of that voice in comedy. And he did a prank. It went bad. Who cares? Move on, people. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I might not like everybody's comedy, and everybody might not like, you know, somebody else's comedy or whatever. But I mean, comedy, again, we were talking about the different types of comedy, and there's different mediums of comedy, whether it's a funny photo or a funny music video song or a parody or improv or sketch or a film or a web series or stand-up or whatever. Like it could be, or a podcast, or, you know, I mean, there's so many different things. And she did this thing, and it was like, you know, it wasn't meant to be what it obviously resulted in. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of comedians who've done some racy things, and, you know, it's up to everybody to pick and choose like what they feel is the right kind of comedy for them. Like, and again, on our festival this year, we have a lot of different types of theme shows that kind of cater to a lot of different audiences. So there's something for them. But I'm glad you brought up the stuff about the ladies, because I want all the women out there to know that we do have a lot of women in our festival. And these girls, I mean, these women are amazing comics. They're talented, really talented, and just amazing. And we try to support as many people as possible. We have a lot of women, a lot of LGBTQ. We have a disability show this year. We have an LGBTQ show this year. We have a show for moms who do comedy and dads who do comedy, which is pretty awesome comedy and pretty wild. And then we have a 420 show if you're a weed smoker. We have a blue show if you like racy blue edgy comedy. We have a lot for everybody. So you can just basically say, hey, I want to watch that, or I want to watch that, you know. But yeah, we definitely support female comedians, and we would love to see a lot more of them. They are undervalued and underappreciated. And yeah, I mean, there's so many amazing ones out there, and we try to utilize the people that are in our festival as part of our PSICF family. So There's a comedian named Sally Mullins who is amazing. I don't know if you know her, but she's so talented. Oh my God. And so we brought her back. She's hosting 2 shows, the Sally Mullins Nearly Naked Comedy Show and the Lewd Conduct Show. But she's also performing in our Top 10 show, which is the very first opening day of the festival on Sunday, October 11th. So we try to show people, we try to promote them, and we'll have there will be a bunch of other female comics in that show as well. So we try to, support them as much as possible.
And do you have a clean comedy show too?
The clean comedy show would be pretty much probably the mom and dad stuff, or the stuff that's just kind of sprinkled in throughout the festival, where all the comic eating. Everybody's going to do something a little different. But yeah,
that's awesome.
And we're also probably going to do a Zoom like a visual comedy show. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So so these people use graphics and visuals in their show, and it's all done like a visual show.
Like James Beach or something like that?
And yeah, it's almost like, how you watch, it's like when you watch the news on SNL and they show the graphics and stuff like that, and they do jokes and they show a funny image, or they say something about this image or whatever. It's kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Definitely.
So can you give us the website one more time and the information so we can put it out there? And is there anything else that you want other people to know about the comedy festival and stuff like that?
Well, I want the people to know that the tickets are pretty reasonable. They're only like $10 for a day pass, and you can watch everything all day, or you can spend like $25 and watch everything all week. Or you can spend $45 and watch everything and get priority seating in the rooms. So the rooms max out after so many people. And then also you have the ability to watch the stuff that you missed at your leisure, with those other passes at another time. So if you're like, oh man, I really wanted to see this, but I had to work, or I had to do this or that or whatever, you could go back and watch them later at your leisure with your passcode. And so the tickets are affordable, and then they could watch it again. But we have a little something for everybody. Like I said, we have a lot of amazing films with a lot of big people in them. Like, the Ego Nwodim, who's the new major cast member on SNL. She's been on there before, but they just promoted her. She's in one of the films. Luis Guzman, Luis, he's been in Boogie Nights and a ton of stuff. Ed Begley Jr., Wendy Malick, Lorraine Newman, Judd Apatow. There's just so many. There's so many people from so many shows. I can't even name them all, but you can check out all these amazing films and like all the amazing stand-ups we have, and the list will be up there on the website too. And I think people will be pretty impressed.
That's awesome. And the website one more time, just for everybody.
The website is psicf.org, which is Palm Springs International Comedy Festival acronym, psicf.org. And the tickets are available now, and the lineup should be up there tonight. And then we'll be adding to that lineup. So it's just getting better and better and better. We might even, there might even be an SNL panel. So hopefully we can pull that together. That would be amazing, but we're trying to do that. Just a lot of stuff. We have a documentary on Andy Kaufman that's going to be on there, like all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah.
All right. Luke, where can people find you at?
You can find me at LukeLacoy on the social medias.
All right. Perfect. You can check me out at JamesDCreviston.com or comedypreneur.com. I probably am going to get that pass and watch a bunch of stuff and then write stuff on Comedypreneur, because I think this is an amazing opportunity, an amazing thing to learn about. And Luke and I, we're going to make something next year to submit next year. That's what we're going to do.
Nice.
And we'll help you with the podcast stuff. We'll be your podcast guys.
That would be amazing. I would love that. That would be so much fun. Yeah. It'd be cool if we could go live next year and you guys could come out and do it from there.
We totally can. We have all the video stuff. We have everything to stream. We have everything, so we could do that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, guys. I would love it.
Awesome. So you guys heard it first. And thank you, Paul, so much for being on the podcast. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
One more time with the link, just so we can make sure that everyone gets it.
It's psicf.org, psicf.org. PSIFF.org, which is Palm Springs International Comedy Festival.
Perfect.
And thank you to you and you guys and all your fans. And we hope to see you at the comedy festival.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Have a good week and go and get your tickets. Watch this stuff. It's going to be awesome. And then support comedy. This is what this is all about. This is what we do. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Part of the proceeds are going to go to pandemic relief charities as well. So
That's even better.
Any merchandise you buy at the store, we have a lot of cool merchandise and tickets. Part of the proceeds will also go to that. So that's very important. I'm glad I got that in. Sorry.
Yes. No, thank you. No, that's awesome. So there you go. Support good causes. Laugh. We all need laughter right now. If we need anything, we need laughter. So thank you guys so much for listening. Please check out the Palm Springs International Comedy Festival and have a great week.
Yeah, we're about to get clean up in here. So clean your mouth out with a bar of soap and get ready for the